Company Code. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to discuss the age-old thing about ego and what ego is and why we all have an element of ego in our lives and how ego actually can be quite a bad thing, but I suppose almost at some point it's a necessary evil as well. So what is ego? Well, I think the easiest way to describe it is if we've all seen cartoons, we've all seen films, and we've all had the notion of a little devil and a little angel appearing on your shoulder. Your pure self, in a nutshell, the little angel is the opposite of ego. The little devil that appears on your shoulder and tells you should do something bad, that is your ego. And absolutely, I can 100% say that nobody is without ego, and everybody at some point has been within their ego. Even myself, I try and be quite humble and reasonable and honest and try and be right by people and be good, but there has been times when my ego has got the better of me, and I realise that now. And I think realising when your ego is taking over is about half the battle, because then you know then when to stop. Okay, so I'll give you an example of ego. I work with somebody who's very much within their ego. They've been with the company now for 30 years. There's nothing they don't know. But their attitude is that the company can't survive without them. And that 100%, when things go wrong, they've always got to become like the hero and save the day. That's them justifying their existence. That's the ego at play. Whereas my ego doesn't work like that. I feel in myself that the more knowledge we share, the better the company gets on and the better everyone can be, and that's the problem, that's the difference. You see, that man is very much in his ego. He believes wholeheartedly that he is indispensable, or wants to believe it, whereas I accept I'm not indispensable, that I can be replaced, and I'm not actually concerned whether someone does come along and do so, because at the end of the day, that's life. There's always going to be somebody better looking, faster, more money, better at something that you like. That's life. You have to accept these things. Your ego self is there mainly to protect you, but in a very sort of wrong way. Your ego self will act in a very proud and self way, to the point where others will not matter, and it will absolutely be very overriding in some respects, and you remember I said a video a few weeks back about foolish pride. Ego is very much along the lines of foolish pride, because it is a belief that the outside of yourself is not valid or not important, when really we should always recognise outside of ourselves and others and the way that we behave and how it affects other people, and never be too proud or think we're too good to be humbled in any way, shape or form. I have experienced major dents to my ego in the last 6 years, massive kicks, should I say, to my ego, but in some ways it was for the best. And absolutely I feel now more than ever that your ego needs silencing. It doesn't need to be completely cut off, because there are times when having an ego can actually be a good thing. It's a recognition of self in some capacity, self in being good. But where there is too much ego, then there is an issue, and it's when you have to realise when it's becoming an issue and when it's becoming too much. That's when you really truly gain the power, and then also knowing when to tone it down, because plenty of us out there find it hard to, particularly if it's something that's hurt us. It's almost like the wounded animal coming out and biting everything in its path, like almost recklessly. And that is what an ego can do, and that's how strong an ego can be. So I'm going to leave it there for today. This is a very complex subject matter, the ego, and how it all kind of overrides, but definitely just imagine the little devil on your shoulder telling you to do something that perhaps in a very selfish way is benefiting you more than others, and is not actually the right thing. and remember that it's okay to have some ego, but too much of it is not good. And knowing when to say no to it is when you really do take back your power. Okay, guys, third and final video of the week, I'm going to say thank you all ever so much for being here. I really appreciate your time and energy spent here on my channel. Thank you kindly. Third and final video, as I said, put down in the comment section below. I'm sure you, like all of us, have had moments of big ego, and where your ego has been perhaps too much in charge. I know that I have, and I'm not ashamed to admit now that I have. And I'm doing all I can in my own inner work to try and keep my ego in check where it needs to be, okay? When it needs to be. Remember to hit that subscribe button down below, leave me a thumbs up and a like, and let's hear that bell sign go ding dong so you know when my next content's out. Guys, I will be back next week with another 3 videos, but until then I want to say thank you all ever so much for listening. I really appreciate your time and energy spent here on my channel. Back again with another 3 videos next week. Until then, take care of yourselves, and bye for now.